In the world of pageantry, sometimes we can get carried away by a candidate's popularity or their hype on social media. And as a direct result of that, we might tend to overlook candidates who have just as much potential, but perhaps just not as many people following their journey. And of course, this is also the case at Miss Universe Philippines. This is exactly why I have put together a list of 8 delegates that are currently competing at Miss Universe Philippines 2024 that, in my opinion, have just as much potential as any of the popular frontrunners to obtain a really good placement, and why not even win the crown. Before we get the conversation started, go ahead and drop a like, a comment, follow me, and subscribe to my channel as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to share it with a friend. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first candidate that I would like to highlight on this video is Miss Universe Philippines Leyte. I'm pretty sure that we all remember where we were the moment that this girl walked out for the very first time during the press presentation for the Miss Universe Philippines candidates this particular year. She was most definitely one of the candidates that managed to make a fashion statement and a really good first impression. Since that moment, I feel like our attention has shifted as more seasoned queens and more popular queens have joined the competition and have been showcasing what they're capable of. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that Miss Universe Philippines Leyte has still remained very consistent all throughout most of the challenges, and even up until now, she delivered a killer performance during the swimsuit challenge. Perhaps because Leyte hasn't really established a name in pageantry as being a powerhouse within the Philippines, there isn't as much hype or conversation around her, but please do not overlook her as the raw potential is right there. At number 7 on the list, we have Miss Florida Matea Mahal Smith, who is perhaps one of the most interesting queens in this entire list. First of all, we have to start acknowledging that Matea is already an international title holder. Since last year, she won the title for Miss Filipina International. So going into Miss Universe Philippines, this is not her first rodeo, okay? She is only 21 years old and comes from an Afro-Filipino household. She is also very accomplished academically speaking, since she is a junior at the University of Florida in the field of behavioral and cognitive neuroscience. So my girl got brains, okay? In the same sense, I feel like Matea has been delivering for every single one of the presentations what we kind of expect from her, but I do feel like she has struggled a little bit to stand out from everyone else. I don't think that she is underperforming by any means. Precisely proof of that was her performance during that swimsuit challenge that just took place in Boracay. I feel like Matea really looked incredible, super confident, her body was extremely fit. So my hope is that now that we're going more into in-person challenges at Miss Universe Philippines, she will come out of her shell a little bit more and show us what she's capable of. Come on, Matea, you are quite literally an international title holder. We know that the potential is there. At number 6 on the list, we have Miss Mandawe, who also brings one of the most interesting backgrounds of the entire batch. She describes herself as a very artistic person, extremely creative, and very expressive as well. On top of that, she is also a nurse, which proves that you don't have to compromise your scientific side for the creative one. Both can coexist perfectly. It is no shocker that Miss Mandawe has one of the most distinguished looks of the entire batch. I feel like she has her own aesthetics, not just talking about the hair, but also about her fashion statements. She is one with a very individual vision, and I actually really like that. Another thing that I really appreciate is that this girl is a performer. When she is on stage, I don't know where she gets it from, if it's the creative side, if it's the inspiration, I don't know what it is, but the girl will give us every single time a show, and that's something that people don't really talk about, because nowadays with Miss Universe and all of the messages that we want to put forward, which is amazing that we have so many advocacies and stuff, but sometimes people forget that pageants are also entertainment. So yes, we want to inspire, we want to help others, reach out and give them as much as possible, but at the same time, we want people to tune in. And how do we do that? Give them a show. And I love Miss Mandawe because that's something that she never fails to deliver. At number 5 on the list, let's talk about Miss Northern California, who started being one of the fan favorites of the entire batch. I heard so much hype around this girl since the very beginning, but ever since, I don't know why, I feel like she has not been able to keep up the momentum, at least in terms of people talking about her. Of course, our attention has been divided with the likes of Atisa Manalo, Alexi Brooks, Christy McGarry, Victoria Velasquez Vincent, and so on and on and on. So in terms of support and social media buzz, I feel like Kyla has suffered on that end. When you look at her, she actually does look like the prototype of girl who will do really well at Miss Universe Philippines as well as at Miss Universe. The potential is definitely there. Prior to joining the pageant, she had already made a name for herself in the US. She has been working in the entertainment business, and as expected, she is extremely comfortable with English. During her swimsuit challenge, I was expecting a little bit more of energy during the presentation and a little bit more coordination with her walk, but those are things that can be addressed with the help of her team. Kyla, the potential is there. You have it. You just have to polish it. I'm not giving up on you. I'm not losing hope. I know that you can go far. At number 4 on the list, we have Miss Bulacan, Chelsea Manalo, who honestly is one of the standouts for me since the very beginning. If you guys go and watch my first video before even the season for Miss Universe Philippines started, she was already on that list. Why? Because Chelsea has that extremely beautiful, polished look that I know that Miss Universe Philippines and Miss Universe themselves would also appreciate. I know that a lot of pageant fans call her the real black Pinay Barbie, and all you have to do is look at her to understand why. This year in particular at Miss Universe Philippines, it has been very important in terms of representation, in terms of diversity. And I feel like a lot of that conversation surrounds the likes of Alexi Brooks, who also represent girls with darker skin tones. Chelsea does the same thing just as beautifully. And in the same way that Alexi is on a league of her own, I feel like Chelsea brings just as much to the table. Perhaps coming from Bulacan, there isn't as much support as some of the other candidates might be getting, but it is undeniable that in terms of beauty, brains, comm skills, and performance, Chelsea is one of the girls that you need to keep your eyes on. Moving on to number 3, we have Miss Laguna Alexandra Rosales, who we all know and love from Binibining Pilipinas 2021. What I like the most about Alexandra is her fun personality. This girl is extremely likable, extremely relatable, and in my opinion represents a lot of the Filipinas that I know and that I meet on an everyday basis. She has that playful personality, so I feel like in terms of being a spokesperson, a representative for the people, Alexandra does an outstanding job. Of course, because she also has experience in the pageant arena, she brings a lot of performance and skill to the table. That's something that you guys can verify if you watch the swimsuit challenge, which I will be quoting quite a lot during this video because it's one of the few challenges that we got already, that we got to see the girls in motion. And it's also undeniable that Alexandra has delivered every single time when it comes to the looks, the pasaboks, the makeup, the hair, the gowns. Every single time she gives us her very best. So when I think of someone that represents the people, that is likable, that is relatable, that delivers on the performance, she's the first one that comes to mind. And for that, I think that we shouldn't underestimate her. Now, at number 2 on the list, I want to take a moment to talk about Miss Southern California, Miss Janet Hammond. By the way, we got to talk a little bit about her the last time that I went live here on the channel because precisely during the swimsuit challenge, I feel like Janet was one of those girls who really stood out. Not just, who delivered, who lived up to the expectation. No, this girl managed to stand out of the crowd, to shine on stage, to really overshine, if we are being quite honest, some fan favorites. And yet, for some reason, she is still not given as much recognition or acknowledgement as some other girls who maybe are not putting as much effort into their journey at Miss Universe Philippines. You have a little bit of a homework today, which is to go and research some of her looks and her presentations, but you will see that every single time she has been extremely consistent. For the most part, I will say that she is with the top 15 every single time of the best dressed, the most eloquent, the best performers. So I'm still kind of trying to understand where is the disconnect between what she's bringing to the table and the fandom. I have a theory, which is that maybe this year, since it's the first time that overseas Filipino communities can compete at Miss Universe Philippines, the fandom hasn't fully assimilated them yet. Although the fans know that they are Filipina or at least mixed with Filipina, I think that they're still seen as foreigners. I don't know if you guys see where I'm coming from. Please let me know in the comments if you agree. But when you put all of those things aside, the potential is undeniable. The girl is killing it. She is crushing it. And my hope is that you guys can give her a chance because, the talent and the potential is endless. And finally, my first pick in terms of the dark horses for Miss Universe Philippines 2024, it goes to Palawan. The girl who actually managed to grab everyone's attention during the swimsuit challenge, and that was undeniably one of the standouts, although she was not considered a fan favorite or a front runner up until that point. Let's give her a few props here. Palawan has been consistent. I have never been disappointed with any of her presentations, any of her looks whatsoever. She is very statuesque, very tall. She gives this editorial vibe that I'm sure that Miss Universe Philippines absolutely loves, but I feel like her biggest strength is the performance. When the girl went out on stage, she delivered what was not only a showstopper performance, but also a technically correct performance. Very well coordinated, very calculated, and I felt like she was in control from beginning to end. Because of that presentation, I feel like she has gained a lot of supporters, not just in Palawan, but all throughout the country and even from abroad, because you know that a lot of people watch Miss Universe Philippines for entertainment. It's one of the best pageants in the world. So Miss Palawan, I hope that you have a strategy, that you have a strong team that will help you to keep the momentum going, because you are crushing it and I want to see more of it. Alright everyone, so there you go. Those were my top 8 dark horses for this year's competition at Miss Universe Philippines 2024. As I said before, not everything is popularity. We have to keep in mind the girls who are strong performers, who are trying really hard, who are giving us their best, although they might not have as much hype and popularity on social media. At least I think that they deserve their flowers, right? So go ahead guys, let me know in the comment section if you agree with my picks, with my comments today. Is there someone else that you would like to recognize? While you're at it, don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe, follow me, and share this content with a friend so that we can reach more people. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.